I think 15 goals, 16 assists for Emi Buendía this season. I mean, it's an incredible return. Any player who sort of tops 20 goal involvements in a season, you have to say has been exceptional. So for somebody to get to top 30 is just incredible. And he's 24 now, so he's just up to the scouted age range, but we make honourable exceptions at times like this. And he's just such an interesting player. He's an exciting player. I mean, you've spoken to him, Michael. I mean, what is he like as a person to sit down with, to have a chat with?
Yeah, I have. He's I think there's almost two Emi Buendias in a way. I think there's the one on the pitch who is a bit all over the place. I mean, he's been quite calm in the second half of the season, and I think he's really tried to, have that as a perception of him, that he's kind of got over some of the more sporadic arm waves and frustration and almost borderline dissent, really, that he has exuded at times. I do feel that is easier for him when things are going very well. So I will await how that looks next year when Norwich are going to lose games. Clearly. But he has been outstanding and really well disciplined this year. But he's a firecracker. Norwich had to tell him really early on to you can't, if you're going to be substituted, you can't immediately throw your arms up in the air, because the head coach is being killed then at that point. And I think you could watch him even at this first part of this season, his frustration, and when there's no one in the ground, you could hear him, swearing effectively at anything. And it is anything. It could be a misplace. It could be someone not spotting him. It could be him misplacing a pass or getting cut out. And there'd always be this fog that would go over him, and his teammates would have to bring him back into the room because you could almost lose him. Just incredible intensity that he plays with, but it's a lot of it's in his head, and it doesn't always transpire into intensity of closing down and running. So it's a real difficult managing act, and a part of me wonders if that is a question mark over him. That other people look at him off the pitch and look at him in games on the pitch and just think, I don't know if I can fancy managing him, because you probably have to put a bit into that. But then what you get, obviously, if you nail it, is an exceptional footballer. I mean, there are only a handful of players I've seen at championship level who just look so far beyond it. Someone like Ruben Neves a couple of years ago. But yeah, I think Emi this year has looked exactly that himself. But then, off the pitch, you get this really sort of softly spoken, genuine guy who will smile. There's sort of a furrowed brow of he's always quite focused, but he's really pleasant, shy, family orientated, quiet. He won't be going out anywhere regularly. He lives in a village outside of Norwich, tucked away. He's got 2 gorgeous children and a lovely partner, and everything's so sort of quiet. And it's such a contrast to someone who wants to win everything. He wants to be at clubs. Norwich is never going to be the height of his ambition. He wants to win everything. It's just a wonderful thing that he's been called up for Argentina, and it could be one of those moments, I think, where sometimes you throw someone into a situation and you just know they're going to fly. And I wonder if we might get that with Emi this summer with Argentina. We'll have to see, but I think he's a remarkable contrast, and I think sometimes maybe the perception of him from people who just know him on the pitch doesn't really do him justice. But likewise, it probably does as well in terms of what you have to deal with him and how you have to manage him. And he's lucky that he's had such a great man manager with him in terms of Daniel Farke.
Yeah, and I think we'll come on to Daniel Farke in a little bit, but I think in terms of man management, having to that managing act, that balancing act that you discussed, I think not every manager would be able to do that. And I think a lot of the time, coaches are, I think in the modern day, we sometimes obsess over tactics and systems and all that. But at the end of the day, football it's a personal business. It's a very human business. And if, as what Daniel Farke was saying at the beginning of the season, if you can't get a player of Emi Buendia's caliber to start firing, then that's going to massively negate the efforts of the team. But on the flip side, if you can't get him firing, then the results are there. 31 goal involvements in a title-winning campaign. It's and I think that there should be more focus on that. And I think, I can't imagine how you must feel, but I'm overjoyed that he's been given that Argentina call up, because it's deserved. I think it's been a long time coming. I think he got not bad rep. I think he got very good rep in the Premier League. But there was that question mark over, oh well, he's only scored one goal, and that was towards the end of the campaign. But I mean, he was consistently one of the players in the top division in one of the best divisions in Europe, who's consistently creating chances for a team who, for all intents and purposes, were probably a little bit understaffed for that division. So I think the quality has always been there, and I think Daniel Farke being able to get the best out of him has been, it's probably been one of the major subplots to this season, at least from my perspective, from somebody who doesn't watch Norwich every week.